Now, two unexpected results lately that on the face of it look like bad results for everyone concerned. First of all, Tyson Fury looking terrible against Francis Ngannou, but winning pretty much every round other than two or possibly three, and that's being generous. But he certainly looked awful in every department in doing so. Now, on the face of it, a lot of Fury fans would probably be disappointed about performance, as that as a precursor to a Tyson Fury that goes in to a fight against Alexander Usyk. You would be thinking you probably possibly don't fancy your man as much as you did before. But there's a kind of a reverse psychology when you look at this. Had Tyson Fury gone into an Alexander Usyk fight on the back of a 1 or 2 round blowout or a coasting to a unanimous 12 round points victory in second gear, you would possibly be going into an Usyk fight thinking he destroyed Dillian Whyte, Derek Chisora, and easily beat Francis Ngannou. Tyson Fury, best heavyweight on the planet. Alexander Usyk, no problem. But now, Derek Chisora and Dillian Whyte. Derek Chisora should have never been in there. Fight should have never happened for me. Shouldn't have been sanctioned. Dillian Whyte, yes, a mandatory, but a poor Dillian Whyte. And a Dillian Whyte who, let's be fair, is very limited in every department. And I'm sure I wasn't alone. I'm sure most of you thought the same thing. Tyson Fury beats Dillian Whyte easily. You couldn't have engineered a better, perfectly more matched opponent or a more suited opponent for Tyson Fury than a slow, unmobile, walk forward sort of pressure fighter in Dillian Whyte. And that's exactly what happened, and that's exactly what turned up. Now, had Tyson Fury gone into the Alexander Usyk fight on the back of those 3 fights, it would be easy to if you were Tyson Fury, it'd be easy to believe that there was Tyson Fury on his own in his own universe, on his own planet, and then everyone else. And certainly, because of what played out in the Ngannou fight, other than Tyson Fury actually being shot, other than all the years of abuse outside the ring catching up with him, all the rumours about sort of irreversible injuries that he shows in the gym, other than those things being true, for me, Tyson Fury massively underestimated the threat carried by Francis Ngannou, and that showed dramatically in his performance. Yes, he won, and won by a long way, but looked terrible in doing so. Now, going into an Alexander Usyk fight, for me, the result against Ngannou, and if I was a Fury fan, which I'm not, I don't like the guy, no secret, but I do objectively recognise his superb skills as a fighter. So, for me, going into the Alexander Usyk fight, I would now expect the best Tyson Fury is going to show up, because he's had a massive mortality check, a massive reality check that he's not actually Superman, and he's not actually leagues above everyone else. There are guys out there that are game with good fundamentals who, if Fury turns up anything less than 110%, will give him a fight and will cause him problems. And Usyk is technically the most gifted heavyweight at the moment, certainly. He's the most gifted technical heavyweight, in operation currently. So on the back of that, if Fury had beaten Ngannou easily and turned up against Usyk could have gave him way more problems than he will do now. He's brought Jay Opetaia into the camp of sparring, which is possibly the best level and closest representation of a faux Usyk, possibly. You will get Fury, like I say, unless he is shot, unless he is, ruined beyond repair, Tyson Fury is going to go away now. And I'm in no doubt that's why they scrapped the date. They scrapped the date because he needed way more time. And I'm not even convinced this fight happens when it's penciled in to happen now. Not convinced at all yet. But that result, on the face of it, you thought that's not good news from a Fury point of view. But for me, I think that's the best possible preparation Fury could have had. That's the best wake-up call Fury could have had going into an Usyk fight. So like I say, unless Fury is spent and shot beyond repair, expect the best Tyson Fury against Alexander Usyk. And that now throws this fight. Now that's a genuine 50-50, or now it's a genuine, for me, I now lean towards Fury more than I did before the Ngannou fight, if that makes sense, for these reasons, for the reasons that Fury has had a massive crash back down to earth. Now we're back to reality. Now we're going to work again. Now we have to work again. Second point of the day I thought was interesting and deserves some thought. Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder. On the back of Deontay Wilder's loss to Joseph Parker, where Deontay Wilder, for me, and was most telling after the fight in the interviews, mentally, and Joe Stunner talked about this, and as Mickey said to Rocky in Apollo 3, it seems like Deontay Wilder, the killer, the man who wanted body bags on his record, has now become civilized and is now not a savage anymore. And as Mickey said as well, and he's correct, it's the worst thing that can happen to a fighter. Now, for those reasons, Deontay Wilder lost. Well, he didn't lose. He gave it away to a certain degree. Parker was good, and Parker still had to win. But even Parker would say that was not one of his hardest fights at the elite level, 100%. But I have no doubt now that from certain parts of the Joshua camp and certainly parts of Matchroom and DAZN, I'm now thinking, on the face of that, oh, we've lost the big super fight. We've lost Wilder v Joshua. But when you look at that a little more deeply, now also they've lost the massive amount of money that it took to Wilder to get in a ring. And regardless whether that would have been sort of partially sort of given over by the Saudis and knocked the zone, there's still a certain large amount of cost in getting Deontay Wilder in the ring to face Deontay Wilder. That's now gone. So that massive outlay you were going to have to put out for that fight is now gone. So that can be considered a positive result. Also, now, prior to Wilder Parker, the threat of Deontay Wilder was real. The threat of Deontay Wilder's punch and his aggression was a definite threat to Anthony Joshua, who seemingly at the time had lost some aggression, lost some confidence in his own ability to come forward and throw a certain amount of caution to the wind and take risks. So all those factors coupled together, Wilder looked like a large risk prior. At this point, not really. I think that is Wilder now done. My opinion, I might be wrong, you may disagree. But all that risk associated with that fight is also now gone. So that, from a certain degree, is also a positive from Team Joshua. And don't get me wrong, I am not one of the Joshua haters. I'm a Joshua fan. And all the people who say Joshua ducking so-and-so, Joshua ducking Wilder, Joshua will fight anyone. If you don't realise that fact by now, with who Joshua's got on his record, if you still think Joshua is the type of person that would duck other opponents, you need to go find yourself a different sport. I'm sorry. But in terms of what Joshua's handlers and camp and DAZN and financial backers, the risk associated with the Wilder fight is now gone. So I am of no doubt that there is a large part of the Joshua extended contingent who will now be happy. So on the back of those two results, Fury and Wilder, and the manner of those results, they can be considered, certainly with Fury, that will now be considered a massive bonus. It is to me. I'm not a Fury fan, but I certainly expect a better Fury now after the Ngannou result than I did had he beaten Ngannou easily. And in terms of Joshua, for me, I'm not interested in really seeing that fight anymore. Will I watch it if it gets made? Of course I will. Am I going to clamour for it now? Not at all. Not really. And there will be a large contingent, like I said, from the financial point of his backers who will now be happy that that is now partially taken out of the equation. For the 100% of people who have been happy to see that fight, who were calling for that fight and wanted that fight desperately, I think you can shave 40% off that contingent, because certainly a lot of people I've spoke to after that aren't really bothered about seeing Joshua Wilder. That is pretty much gone in a lot of quarters, and partly by myself as well. Just a few thoughts and just a few, how tales of the unexpected, aren't they? how like on the face of it you get a certain result, and in the immediate aftermath you viewed them one way, then after looking at them and thinking about them for a bit, you actually think, they're almost the complete opposite of what you thought in the first place. Anyway, that's it. Quick video, just a few things I thought of this morning. To everyone in the United States who liked and subscribed and has shown support, thank you very much. Spread the word. Let's help grow the channel. Like I said before, this is not bullshit to make you carry on watching. I've got some really good, exciting projects lined up. So if you haven't already, like and subscribe. See you all soon.